face. I shot an 8-point yesterday.
Good evening, Pittsburgh sports fans, and welcome to the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. I am back. Was off last week. I was in New York City visiting family, so I'm back. Joining me is my co-hosts, Edward and Tracy. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we doing tonight?
Very well, thank you, William. How are you, Trace?
Hello, Edward. Hi, William.
Yeah, guys. So we got a full slate of topics tonight. We're going to get into the Steelers and Chargers debacle, the Steelers and Bengals preview. There should be a lot of a lot of questions on that one. Pitt football versus Notre Dame, this big game. So we'll get into that. Pitt basketball tomorrow night. Backyard brawl on the hardwood. So both teams 3-0 too, by the way. So and then talk a little Penguins, some things going on there, and then talk Riverhounds in the Eastern Conference Finals, hosting the Eastern Conference Final. So get into that. We are having some technical difficulties here. So what else is new?
Why?
Spitballing's
I can hear you.
Not loading here for some reason.
Oh.
Wonderful StreamYard. It can never go smooth, ever. Not ever. All right, so let's get into Steelers and Chargers. You know what, guys? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Talk about them Hounds. Yeah, we'll be getting into that there, George. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. Just a poor performance. Probably one of Aaron Rodgers, I think's worst games in recent years. I can't ever remember seeing him play a game that bad. I don't know how you guys saw it, but 51.6% passing with a 50.6 passer rating through those two interceptions. I know one of them wasn't his fault; the other one was. But I don't know, man. What do you guys have to say on that?
Go ahead, Trace.
I thought he's throwing high most of the night. I don't think he's the sole person who was having a hard time. I think DK was having a hard time running his routes too. I also think that whenever he got taken out by the safety there, that really should have been a flag thrown. I don't understand how it's well beyond 5 yards. He completely gets ran into, and if he doesn't run into him there, he catches that ball. It's a touchdown. So I don't know. I think Rodgers had a really poor game, but I don't think anybody else did that great either. Warren, I thought, shined. That's about it. What do you think, Eddie?
Well, I mean, if you're a Steeler fan, you definitely should be concerned because it's you see it in the other big sport in the area that the age is definitely going to be a factor. They're far too old. They're built the exact wrong way. And I during the game, I was texting this guy named William Akins, and I said, I thought was a bold statement. I said, forget the wide receivers. They're not good at all. I would go with the 3 tight ends and DK, and that's it. Because those wide receivers are below average. They can't catch. Far too many drops. And, they're going to go ahead and try and praise what's his name from Michigan for just a late meaning. To say it means nothing would be an insult to the word nothing. The game was completely decided, and they just couldn't do anything. Rodgers, he's got a problem. That was the worst game of his career. I just think that age is caught up. And honestly, when you look,
I didn't want to say it, but I mean, I didn't want to go there. But I'm glad you did. I agree. It was one of those. I haven't seen him play that bad ever.
Yeah. And you look at Metcalf, and I don't know if you can blame him necessarily. He was just uninterested, wasn't motivated. They couldn't do anything to isolate him on the field. He had that one slant that was good, but that was it. I mean, I'm just going to quote somebody real quick, and I'll give it back to you, Billy. I quote Vince Lombardi, you do what you do well and you do it over and over and over again. They should have run that play, that slant that's worked all year long. Just keep running the thing. Do it on the left side. Do it on the right side. Do it on the left side. Do it on the right side. Force the other team to adjust to what arguably is probably your best play on offense is that slant, where it's the hard run fake, it's the RPO, and you hit DK almost in stride, depending on where he is in the field, be it the left or the right side. Because that linebacker is stuck. First of all, they're frozen for a half second, and then they have to make a decision. Do they come? Do they go? And by that time, the route's either before them or the route is after them. So the route is always open. But go ahead, Billy.
But that's when he threw a pick on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he overthrew him there, and he threw a pick on it. And then the next one, he got ran into and knocked him off on third or fourth down.
We don't know if that one was he was throwing high all night long. He
Yes,
threw
he
high to Donovan Smith. He threw high to other people. But I think if you have a play that runs very well, you just keep running it. Every team does that.
I'm agreeing with you. I think they were trying that, Eddie. I don't think it was working for them.
Well, here's the other problem, is that when the Steelers are down, they can't afford to spread the field because they have no line. They have no offensive line. Once you spread that formation, they have no offensive line. They need that heavy personnel because they cannot block. Both of the tackles are weak. I mean,
Fatano is not weak. Fatano is one of the better linemen that they have right now.
They wouldn't put a tight end on his side consistently. They wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. If he was such a lockdown guy, they wouldn't do it. But they do it over and over again because there is no line. Broderick Jones, I don't care what anybody says. Objectively speaking,
Broderick, I'll give you that one.
He's a bust. He's another first round bust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fatano's doing just fine though.
Trace, he had a tight end to his right at all times, the whole game.
I thought the line played terrible. I thought they played terrible.
I thought the line played terrible, but Fatano is not that problem.
I don't have faith in him at all. I'm losing.
I think the left side of the line played really bad. I think the center might be a little bit dinged up. But other than that, I think we're all right.
He does not look healthy. The guards, Omalu is always 32. He's going to continue to get injured.
Well, that was Anderson, wasn't it? Malu was hurt. Anderson played most of that.
That's what I said. He wasn't there, so he's going to continue.
Yeah.
I just think the problem is age, and they don't have a line. They just don't.
Well, I'll tell you another glaring weakness that I saw is just a lack of efficiency on third down. I mean, you converted 18% of their third downs. You didn't score a freaking touchdown until the fourth quarter. I mean, just could not sustain a drive to save your life. I mean, the negative plays. How about Rodgers, being sacked for a safety in the first quarter? They lost the fumble. Yeah. I mean, it was just, hey, the offense struggled, but I tell you what, the defense was able to pressure Herbert, and they got to him 5 times. They sacked him 5 times. Looks like we got a guest there. He wants to chime in. I'm sure he's he
wants deer meat is what he wants.
I'm sure he has some things to say about this.
I already gave you enough. Go. I know it's good. I'm sorry, guys.
But
how about it?
Like I said, the defense wasn't a problem. For the love of God, can we have a game where all 3 phases play consistently decent football? I mean, we can never have, consistency. One week the offense puts up 30 plus, the defense gives up 30 plus. One week the defense plays lights out and the special teams is an issue. And then the offense is you can never have consistency on all 3 phases. The defense was not able to get off the field on third downs enough as well. I mean, they converted on some third downs, the Chargers. When you look at the time of possession, what was the time of possession? I don't even have it in front of me, but I know it was a massive disadvantage to the Steelers.
The problem is that's what
it was them too many and Steelers not enough. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed.
It's also just they just don't have a line. They don't have a line. I keep telling you that.
I think the line is part of the problem, but I still don't think it's the whole problem. Like I do think Aaron looks a little skittish at times too. That's why he was missing high. And if he didn't miss high, we converted a bunch of third downs there.
Okay, so just what you said, your statement that you just said that he was looking skittish. Why was he looking skittish? Because they were protecting him? Why was he looking skittish?
As the pocket set up, he was stepping up because he, I guess, was skittish, man, because the pocket was there. And as he stepped up, the defensive ends were just rolling back around. That's how Bud Dupree tattooed him. He just walked up a couple steps and came back towards the middle and just hit him because he was going to step up anyway.
Do you think he got concussed on that play? I'm being for real.
Oh my goodness! Did you see where that helmet hit him?
Right, yeah.
You ever get hit in the jaw?
Yeah. I know with that kind of ferocity. Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think basically it was 38-22 time of possession.
Yeah. He was 16 of 31 for 161 yards. No, that's not going to cut it. You know, I mean, you had that late touchdown. That was just garbage time, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, Wilson had 35 yards the entire game. And I think a lot of his frustration, Aaron Rodgers, they can't hold him. They can't catch.
Well, and listen, we've said it for how long. They don't have a legit number 2 receiver. That's been a glaring weakness for years now. And now, you know, they just don't address it. They don't care about it, obviously. I tell you, if I was Aaron Rodgers, and I said this before, I would have demanded a better wide receiver core. I would have demanded it before I even signed. I said, hey, you got to do something about getting me weapons. I'm sorry, DK Metcalf isn't enough. We need more. Roman Wilson has, you know, in my opinion, hasn't
done anything.
Hasn't panned out. You know, Austin is just, I don't know. He's just a guy. He's what you call a jag, just a guy. You know, like I said, third downs was terrible. You only converted 2 of 11 on your third down attempts. You know, it's just that's not going to cut it.
Nope.
You know, you were 221 total yards. Chargers with 314. Like I said, the defense did their job for once. I mean, they looked. You know, it was just like I said. It just comes back to not being able to play consistent football on all 3 phases. And, you know, you could say special teams was pretty bad too, I would say. You know. So
definitely interesting.
Yeah. Steelers offense had 9 drives with 5 or fewer plays. Multiple turnovers, like I said, including that 1 interception, you know, bounced off a receiver's hand, you know. That kills drives and momentum, you know. So
it's just they never got in sync at all the entire time.
Yeah,
never did.
Yep.
The linebackers of the Chargers dominated everything.
Yeah, and they hit that Minter defense. Those guys hit. They get after the guy. You know, they swarm the football and they hit. They hit you. You know.
Here's the favorite game that everybody plays. So if the season ended today, the Steelers would host the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah, how would that be?
Well, I bet you we come out and tattoo him this time. It wouldn't be.
They also would have a healthy O'Marion Hampton. So who's
that wouldn't matter. I think we'd handle him. We played him again. That team was not that tough.
I don't know. I don't think you win that
well,
one.
I tell you, you know, I'm losing faith in these Steelers. I'm as week goes on, I'm losing faith. I mean, you beat the Colts, and you know I wasn't here last week to talk about that, but you know you beat the Colts. But then you know, but then you go to LA and put a performance on the field like that. I mean, how does that? I don't even know how that. I don't know. It's like, it's like a complete 180. Like, what do you? I don't know.
I think the one telling sign I saw, there was a play we were on defense where 51 Herbig was outside of Watt, and they both blitzed. And I think that the telltale sign was that Herbig made it to the quarterback and disrupted him before Watt was able to get there. And that's our major problem is we're spending a whole lot of money for somebody who's a step or two shy now from the younger guys.
Yeah. Daniel Berry, happy Wednesday, brother. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, no, I agree, Trace. And I'll say this, too. Chargers benefited from those turnovers. You know, I mean, they did. So, like I said, defense, and I hate to sound like a broken record, defense registered 5 sacks. You know, they kept the game close for a period of time. And then it just, you know, I mean, when you have that lackluster of an offense, your defense can only do so much. And then you get to a point in time where the game just it gets out of control. And that happened, you know. So
the 2 wins they had 11 turnovers. 6 and 5 respectively, and they only got 24 and 27 points. This is not a team that is in any way, shape, or form a championship team or making a run. Their run is trying to win the next 4, because if they win 4, guess what that means? The streak is alive, and that's really all they're focused on. They're a 9-8, 10-17, and they're a first round exit. They're just not good. And really, it's telling about the organization, because the vaunted class that the scouts and most of the other folks that are in the business thought this quarterback class was going to be outstanding. And it turns out it's just not. I mean, it's a very down year for the quarterbacks. There's a whole lot of them. There's probably 20 that are entering the draft that everyone knows their name, but they just look terrible.
Yeah, and it's like Spears. Everybody knows your name.
Yeah, according to the Ireland Sports Nightly, after the game, they claimed that the Steelers had a trade for Jalen Waddle, and they just refused to give up another pick. It was for a third and something else. They wanted a 3 and 4, and the Steelers said no. So here's a guy, outstanding wide receiver, fast as the day is long, still under contract for another 2 years, and they refuse that. That's not a team that wins. Teams that win go and get that player. Teams that don't win and are irrelevant.
Well, I wouldn't even say teams that win. Teams that are concerned about winning go and do that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just not. It's come down to it that it's like, how can we build a team as cheap as possible? Gee, where have we seen that from? So, yeah. Oh, wow. So
never heard that before in a Pittsburgh organization.
Yeah, it's like Scooby Doo. Take the mask off Art, and oh my God, it's Bob Nutting. So
it's been nutting the whole time, Billy.
Son of a bitch.
We knew he was walking funny, but
he had that accent, that West Virginia, son of a bitch.
There was a twang we didn't recognize. Now we know. And
they didn't get a receiver. They did sign a corner today, didn't they?
Sante Samuel, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was injured all the time, but, however, claims that he's healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. He's a very good talent. His father played in the league. Yeah. He was good on the Chargers. At the one playoff game he played in, he had 3 interceptions of long-haired, what's his name, from Jacksonville.
When they got Valdez Scantlin, whatever his
Lawrence
Junior.
Yeah.
Lawrence. But he's what's he gonna do? I mean, it's
MVS is not gonna do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna do nothing.
Getting all these players off the couch. They've all been at Fort Couch. No one's touched them. Yeah. So, I mean, do you hit lightning in a bottle? They don't cost much money because it's half a season. Right. So, do they catch lightning in a bottle? Are they motivated to get a contract for themselves? All that plays into the. But they only have 3 healthy corners, and Joey Porter Jr. he's bad.
He is bad. I've been saying that for how long? I mean, the guy is just he can't play without holding, and he did that in freaking college. I said that. The guy is just he's terrible. He's one. I mean, he's one of the most penalized DBs in the league, and that's counterproductive. I'm sorry, it's counterproductive.
Again, it's the bro hire, the this, the that, it's the nepotism, it's all that. For whatever reason, they have to look for people who have the same name. It's just they're just not run well. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They are not a well-run franchise.
Well, it's a shame. I said it before. Art's an attorney, and he the way attorneys act is kind of how he runs the franchise, kind of like with kid gloves, so to speak.
So Trace, I ask you this every week. We're getting closer to that decision for a 5th-year option. Does he get it, Mister?
No. Right now, I would say Jones does not get a 5th-year option.
Unbelievable. What say you, Billy?
No, absolutely not. He's like a dude. He's like you ever those old time westerns. The door. It's the saloon doors, the swinging. I mean, that's what he's like. He's a freaking swinging door. Just not. I mean.
Yeah, it also.
You know what? Shame on me, because I mean, he comes out of Georgia, and you look at this guy's pedigree, and you're like, this guy's going to be amazing. Finally, we've got somebody that is a blue chipper. that's going to be good for this line. Don't have a quarterback. I mean, at the time, you didn't have a quarterback, but it's like, okay, finally you're doing some good things in line. And for him to be back to his natural position and to be as bad as he is, I don't get it. What happened? At what point in time did he forget how to play on that side of the ball?
Not even just forget how to play, but the last two guys we talked about is Jones and Porter Jr. Where's the development of these guys? The same issues they had are still the same issues. Like nothing has changed.
They don't develop guys. That's the problem. They don't develop. Mike Tomlin has to be the smartest guy in the room at all times. He cannot, hey, listen to this. Listen to this concept. How about you just kept Flores? How about you just kept him? Where would they be? You think they would be a inconsistent defense with Brian Flores at the helm?
Nope.
I don't think they would be. I don't.
Guy knows what he's doing. Proven it over and over.
No, they've been 9-8 for a long time now, even with Flores.
Well, that was 1 year. I mean.
Well, I mean, a year. It's a small data set, but still sample size worth injecting.
They had 13 wins last year. I'm sorry, 14 wins. They only lost to 2 teams.
I'm not understanding what your point you're trying to make. I mean, if they would, my point is
he was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
they were 9-8, but that's because they didn't. I mean, you didn't let him develop any personnel. He gets to Minnesota, he immediately goes and gets the linebacker he had at Miami. Van Ginkel, who's having an incredible year. That's what coaches do. They understand. They go for the people that don't understand their program. They allow that to spread to other players. Yeah. It's the Belichick. Tom he just has to go. Otherwise, the team will continue to be a joke. He does not know personnel. He has far too much power. And the idea that they're so cheap they won't fire him midseason is an embarrassment to the entire city. Because he is not up to par. He is below average. You can go ahead and get your 9-8. It doesn't mean squat because the Browns haven't been relevant since 1960.
Hey, I said it before. I would have taken some 5-12 seasons if you would have had a playoff win mixed in the last, or playoff win or two in the last few years.
Even the last 10 would have been great.
Right.
You look since 2016, the team has done nothing. In that time, the Bengals have been to a Super Bowl and another AFC championship. The Browns have been to the second round of the playoffs twice. What have the Steelers done? Nothing. Right. Everyone wants to make fun of those franchises because in the 70s, you won a couple when there were 6 teams in the league. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and make fun of them, but they have more productivity when it matters since 16 than the Steelers. And the Steelers have there's no future whatsoever until he leaves.
Yeah. And I mean, look at this. I mean, we all talk about Vegas being right all the time. They're still predicting the Ravens to win the division. And the Ravens are a game behind right now. I mean, how did that happen? I mean,
when they were 1-5, they were still the favorite.
I mean, that just goes to show you, that.
Look, they sit at a crossroads. It's 5-4. If Cincinnati had anything resembling a defense, they would come into Acrisure Stadium and blow them out.
I'm upset. I'm upset that this is, you get Aaron Rodgers, which is, this guy's a Hall of Famer. And, essentially you just, you fail all around him. You don't, I don't really think he's the issue. I mean, that game last week was him. I mean, he had a big part of that.
Yeah, but I mean, they drop all those balls, Billy. They're just as bad.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, that's a main issue.
And the credit to him is he keeps trying to pump these guys up, and they're just not good.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they're just not
good. That's what I'm saying. That's an unfortunate case. All right, let's move on to the Bengals. Let's look at what's coming this week. I think there's a couple keys I look at with this. Hey, you got beat by the Bengals last time. I mean, I got to say this, when you look at it, it's Jamar chasing the slants. That'd be number one on my list of stopping. But I think you got to prioritize the turnover battle. I think you got to win the turnover margin this week. I think you got to rely on the run game. Hopefully you have a decent running game. You're at home. I think it's supposed to be nice, right? It's supposed to be like 60 and like partly sunny, partly cloudy, I think.
Yeah. Supposed to be nice.
I think you got to limit Joe Flacco's time in the pocket. He's been effective when he's in the pocket. He's had some, when you give him time to throw, he can make throws downfield. He makes good reads when he has time. I think you disrupt him and you get pressure on him and you put him on his backside. And I think, you play aggressive defense and you can't, you can't give up 27 plus on this squad. I don't think you're not going to be able to. Like I said, I think you need to the defense needs to step up, put the pressure, and I don't know. So, I think the Steelers. I think you can pass on this secondary, the Bengals. But I think the offensive line has to play better than what they did last week too. So. Let's say you guys.
Yes.
I think the number one factor in the game, as it always is at home, is it's a slow track. It's a slow, disgusting. Yeah. They're going to have had played a game on, right? The day before, it plays the day before on the same turf. It's going to be slow, sloppy. Nobody's going to have any sort of traction whatsoever. That's advantage Steelers, because if you go on that fast turf Cincinnati has, they would kill them again. Right. And they don't really care because they know they can outscore everybody, with a team that doesn't have a defense. So it's just I don't know.
Speaking of that,
we need to capitalize on that. By the way,
I was just going to say that. I think here's one more point, if I could make it. I think you got to utilize the play action in this game. The Bengals defense this year has shown vulnerability in the play action, and I think you gotta just continue to do that. Continue to use play action, and try to get those chunk plays downfield. And I think attack the middle of the field too. I think they give up that Cincinnati defense gives up a league high in catches and yards to tight ends in the middle of the field, receivers in the slot, stuff like that. So, when you look at their last matchup, Freiermuth had some catches. He was pretty successful against them in the last matchup. So
he was.
He definitely was.
I just don't.
And I think I think you double team Jamar Chase for the love of God. I think that's what you got to do. He killed you with the freaking slants. Him and T. Higgins. I think you got to be wary of T. Higgins as well. Jamar Chase, though, he had 16 receptions last time.
Yeah,
and they were all. I'd say 90% of them were slants. For Christ's sake!
But don't forget, they have Noah Fant. They have.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't forget him. Yeah,
they have Gesicki healthy. Hey. They have Brown healthy. Everyone's healthy on the offense.
I know.
And they made that running back look like an all-star.
And I'm going to tell you, like I said, if Flacco has time, he's gonna torch you. He's just going to torch you. I hate to say that. If he has, he's just,
they just don't have a defense in Cincinnati. They thought it was because of their running back. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, because of their defense coordinator, Lou Amarilla. But alas, it was not.
Yeah, if forever you needed safety help for Jerry Porter to help over the top, it's in this game. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta try to neutralize the impact of Chase, and so.
Will they though?
Will they? That's the. What is it? The $64 million question? What did they say? 60.
Yeah, $64,000 question.
Oh,
but what they need to worry about, it was very close. What they really need to worry about is, coaching. They just don't have coaches. They just don't have anybody anywhere that's able to look at something. And their best thing that they do is their halftime adjustments. Just being sarcastic, they didn't make no halftime adjustments. Nothing.
Yeah,
it's a franchise that has been taken hostage.
Why is that?
One person.
Why is that? Why not make halftime? I don't understand that. Why? What am I missing here?
I just don't think I think they have such hubris in the fact that they think one person thinks he's smarter than everybody. That he thinks the defense is the most complicated in the league. Which, if that's the case, why are you running that defense? If they can't understand it, what's the point?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially when the other teams are saying they run the same plays.
Right. Over and over again. That's the funniest thing I find when he comes out and says, well, the defense is very complicated, yet nearly every team says, yeah, we know what they're going to do. It's going to be the same exact thing over and over again. And TJ Watt never moves. It's embarrassing. He never moves whatsoever.
Well, for the love of God, he gets chipped. They say about that about how he getting chipped all the time. Move him around, for crying out loud.
Exactly. If you're getting chipped,
yeah, like that. That's like watered down football 101.
Right.
That's not even. You know what I'm saying? Like a freaking Pop Warner coach would be able to. Okay, let's move him around. Move him around, for the love of God.
They always know where he's going to be. That makes it a hell of a lot easier on them.
Yeah. I don't understand that. That's another thing I don't understand.
No comprendo.
Exactly. It's embarrassing. What it turns out to be, it's just embarrassing.
Well, he claims to be this defensive tacticianer, and yet he does stuff like that. It's just it's just elementary, dear Watson. You got the home field advantage. Okay.
It's an indefinite advantage of that field.
Well, yeah. I mean, because it slows their offense down a little bit, right? Like you said, they're not on that speedy turf, and they, But guess what? Both teams got to play on that turf.
Speedy.
However, there's one team that plays on it all the time. Right?
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah. I was waiting for something else with that quote there.
That's it, sir.
Okay. I'm worried about Boss. I mean, we might need him in this game. I'm worried. I mean, he has bad footing, and that happened once already this year, with that turf. So I don't understand why they can't get it right. I mean, I don't get it why the grounds crew. I mean, it would be a lot easier if. I mean, I'm not a Scott's turf builder. I mean, that's for sure. But to me, it's just how can you? It doesn't help the Pitt plays on the freaking thing. But I mean, how is the turf so bad?
So you're telling me that they can't have a game every weekend? One freaking game every weekend they can't have.
I don't, absurd. Well, it is absurd. And then now you're going to have at the end of the month, you're going to have the Whippeals playing on the dang thing. I think the first game's at 11 o'clock. So it goes to I think the last game kicks off at 8. So you're going to have multiple games on. It's just, I don't know, man. They need to have, if I was the Roonies, I would be bringing in the most, I don't know. The best, what do they call those guys that manage?
Greenskeeper.
Yeah, but there's a official term for it. Whatever.
Field crew.
Huh?
Field crew.
No, that's not it's
gardener.
Gardeners.
No, it's okay. Let's move on. All right. I don't know. Is there any bounce back potential in this game? We'll see. I mean, I don't know. You got your ass handed to you by the Chargers. I mean, I think you need to come out with more focus and energy and try and get this W here, because I tell you what, if
it doesn't happen, it's playing the grass.
Yeah. So, all right, let's do it. Let's go around the horn with the pick on this game. Go ahead, Trace.
17-13 Steelers.
Edward.
So the Steelers are favored by 5.5. It's a 48.5 over under. So they're thinking there's going to be some scoring. So I'm going to say 28-20.
Okay. Who?
I'm going to pick. If the Steelers don't win, their season's kind of over. So
I would say yes.
I'm going to give the nod to the home team.
Okay. I'm going to go 27-21 Steelers, because I agree. This is kind of like a must-win. If you want to keep pace in the AFC North, you've got to have this win. Period.
It's a must-win. You're right.
Yeah, it is.
Baltimore.
It is a must-win.
Baltimore's breathing.
I mean, I wouldn't say that if we were 2 games up, but we're not. So, let's move on to Pitt football. All right, this Saturday we got number 9 Notre Dame 9-2, going to face off against number 22 Pittsburgh at 7-2. It's a top 25 college football matchup. Happy to say that Pitt finally got in the top 25. A lot of playoff implications on this. I know we talked about it. Probably not so much, because of Notre Dame and, obviously they're where they're at in a conference. So it's not like you're playing in Georgia Tech or an AC matchup. This is, I'm not saying that they can afford to lose this game, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world, I guess is what I'm saying, if Pitt were to lose this game.
I think your first statement was accurate when you said it had playoff implications. It does for one team. Because if Notre Dame loses this, they're assuredly out. It'd be awesome for Pitt to win it, but as you stated, this game is not a conference game. They need to focus on Georgia Tech away and Miami. If they win those two games.
And Miami's shown – Georgia Tech's strong. Miami's shown some weaknesses this year.
They have, in fact.
So.
Yeah.
They're suspect, that's for sure.
Yeah, let's look at the head-to-head analysis of this game. So
do the analysis. Let's go.
Okay, Notre Dame. I'm thinking, they're going to rely. They have kind of a balanced offense, I would say. Wouldn't you say? Jeremiah Love, good quarterback.
What's Notre Dame's identity?
I'm a good running back. I'm sorry. What's that?
What's Notre Dame's identity? Running, baby.
Yeah. Running the ball. Yeah. Okay.
We always talk about teams' identity. Like the Steelers have no identity. You look at Notre Dame; they play great defense and they run the living hell out of the ball.
Well, yeah, and you know what? Who has a formidable run defense?
You know it, buddy.
Right. So, So this makes for. I think it's going to be a good game.
It is formidable.
My biggest concern, Ed, I know you and I talked earlier in the week. Just called and talked on the phone, and not even on a show. And I said, hey, I'm not really – what did I say? I'm not really worried about the defense, right?
Nope.
I'm worried about the offense. I'm worried, this true freshman quarterback, Heinzschel, love him. I'm very impressed with what I've seen. He's led the Panthers to 5 straight victories. I think he's good at man coverage. He's good throwing against man coverage. Notre Dame plays a lot of man coverage. Let's see if he can put their defense and secondary to the test with that man coverage. He's good. He's good throwing against man coverage. But I'm worried. Can they score? Can they score enough points to win this game? I think I said it. I think it's they're going to need 28 points. I think. Or more to have a shot at winning this game. I that's just the way I see it. What do you guys say?
They need to move the chains. From what I could see, as long as that quarterback, even if he got to where he was doing like backyard football style and hitting somebody that's open, as long as they're moving the chains, their offense will do what you're hoping they'll do.
If they're able to steal a possession or maintain the time of possession, they're going to have a better than 50-50 shot of winning the game. The idea is to keep Notre Dame's offense on the bench. Right?
Off the field, exactly.
If you're able to do that, 60. Well, I don't know about that, but if you possess the ball, then I'll go with Tracy. Greater than 60%, you're going to win the game because that means
you ever heard of evil from evil?
Yeah.
No, I never saw Star Wars.
And you're talking about you're talking about Notre Dame's biggest attribute is being able to run the football. Like I said, you've got a stout run defense in Pitt. If they can limit the yardage on the ground, I think you've got a real shot at winning this game. And if Heinzschel,
and they can, right, Billy? Just like you pointed out, their defense swarms.
Yes, they swarm.
So it should be ideal for that.
It should be ideal for it. They're a run stopping, like I said, they're a run stopping defense, a very stout run stopping defense. But the question is, like for me, is can Heinzschel in that offense, a healthy Desmond Reed, can they put points on the board? Because like I said, you may need 28 points to win this game. You very well may need that.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Clemson game last year where they did a phenomenal job of holding Clemson's rushing attack until, they did great for like 59 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. They were disciplined.
Right.
They did all that great stuff. That's what they have to do. If they're able to do that the whole game, they win. They go into Georgia Tech on a high. But I mean, I would not put off Pitt. I would not put all my eggs in this basket. It's really cool to beat Notre Dame. No doubt about that. It's a sold out game. Game day's here. Fans are going to storm the field if they win. Blah, blah, blah. And they're going to do more damage to the turf. Blah, 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 blah. However, the games that matter are Georgia Tech and Miami.
And Miami
games.
Absolutely. That's what I would never ever say, hey, this game doesn't mean anything, because that's not the case. But if you, let's just put it this way. If you were to the three remaining games you got, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami, if you were like, hey, you got to win two of them, okay? Georgia Tech and Miami would be top priority. This would be a game that you said, okay, played them tough, but we lost. Okay, lick our wounds, and let's focus on Georgia Tech and Miami in the next coming weeks.
On the other end, though, you can't get blown out.
You can't get blown out, right? And this is, I hate to say it, but if you don't execute defensively and your offense doesn't do what it's supposed to do, this could be one of those scenarios where this game could get out of hand in a hurry. I hope it doesn't happen that way, but it could very well happen that way if certain things aren't done, early in the game. So, like I said, it's a strength on strength matchup when you look at it. Like I said, the Notre Dame rushing attack versus the Pitt stout run defense. And like you said, you got the college game day there. They got the Aaron Donald jersey retirement ceremony as well. So I think it's going to be an electrified atmosphere in Acrisure. I think it's going to be very, and I think, Pitt's, they're going to be amped up for this game. You better believe it.
How could you not be?
Right. Well, how do we say it doesn't matter then? I know we're talking about the records and whatnot, but maybe it does matter, because have we hit a rank yet?
Yeah, we're 22.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think if we beat Notre Dame, I think we move up. I think that'd be awesome. Even just to get even going into those last two, right?
Yeah.
That's another question. Where would they move? If they beat Notre Dame, how far would they move up? I mean, we don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there for just the sake of throwing it out there.
Called even up to number 20. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy moving in the last couple games there at number 20. My goodness.
I want more. I think 18 would be suffice.
I think if they beat one of the two teams you guys are talking about, they would definitely hit 18, probably even better than that, maybe even 15.
Yeah, and it really upsets me because, you look at the two losses, WVU and Louisville. And I hate to say this, but, listen, I love Narduzzi. I like him. I think he's a great coach. I'm just going to say this. It's a shotgun blast. Take it for what it's worth. My biggest issue with Narduzzi is he at times lets his emotions get in the way of coaching and game planning. Period and point blank. And we've seen, Louisville was a product or a prime example of that. So that's the way I see it. It's
going to be, if you're a true sports fan in the city of Pittsburgh, you start off with college game day, 9 to noon. You got Pitt playing Notre Dame at noon. That'll take you to 4 o'clock. You walk right over to Highmark Stadium. You have the Hounds hosting the Rhode Island in the Eastern Conference Final. You wake up Sunday morning, 9 a.m. You have your hockey team playing in Sweden. You last that till 1 o'clock, and you have your football team playing. So you really could see a lot if you're a Pittsburgh fan this weekend.
Yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. All right, well, you're gonna see a lot tomorrow night as Pitt and WVU revitalize that backyard brawl on the hardwood. Nice matchup. Both teams 3-0. I tell you what, this is going to be good. Looking at the rivalry history in this one, Pitt's won the last 2 games by a combined 20.5 points, and West Virginia holds the lead though with a 27-11 edge in home games against Pitt. I'm just going to say this. I actually listened to the game the other night against Eastern Michigan. I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm seeing versus guard Cameron Corrin. Very good. I like DeMarco Minor. I'm liking what I'm seeing with those guys. I mean, those guys are pretty much the offense for Pitt, Corrin and Minor. I don't know. WVU, they've kind of got a balanced attack. You got a guy like Lorient, Huff, Floyd. Zach Austin is a pretty damn defensive force for Pitt. He's averaging 3.5 blocks per game. He's actually leading the ACC in that category. I don't know. You going in a hostile environment, you got to overcome that. You're not on your home court. You gotta. I don't know. Another question I had. I know Brandon Cummins is a game time decision. Has there been anything? I don't know, Ed. Have you seen anything, or even Trace, about him playing?
I have not seen anything at all.
Trace is like, you know better than ask me.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, brother.
No, I've not, and I read about it earlier today. I did not see anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a good one. This is must-see TV. I mean, I think, WVU, like I said, both teams are 3-0. WVU is going to look to capitalize on this home court advantage. I mean, it is tough playing in that Hope Coliseum. It is
it's an intimate event in a smaller venue. It'll be a very good test for them.
Yeah. What are you looking at in this game? I think what you're going to looking at is I think it's going to come down to which team's defense can hold its own against the opponent's offense. I hate to sound like real men of genius, Mr. Obvious on that one, but I mean that's the way I see it.
It's true. I mean that is the way. And that's really what it. In every sport.
I mean, that's the equivalence of saying more points will help you win the game.
I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Real man of genius.
You remember that? You remember what I'm talking about? You remember that, Mr. What I forget.
Captain Obvious.
Yeah, it wasn't Captain Obvious. It was something Real Man of Genius, ex-player sports announcer now.
Yeah.
You offer wonderful insight, like scoring more points will help you win the game.
Yeah, still not a bad thing to have,
Yeah,
more points than the other team.
To win, we just gotta outscore them.
It's perfect. They love that stuff.
I mean, what are you guys looking for in this game?
Points.
It's the first true test of playing in a hostile environment.
Yeah, I mean, you've had Longwood, you'd have had Eastern Michigan. I mean, you've had some,
Yeah, you've played your directional schools and your little sisters of the poor.
Your primer games.
We'll call them preseason games, even though they're not.
Right.
Now's the time to step up and see if you can play in a hostile environment with a true team that you have history with, and it's definitely a rivalry. And if you go down there and you come out with a victory, you could tell where your team is at this point.
Yeah.
Again, it's like the Pitt Panther football team. Just don't get blown out. Win the game. Go down there with a winning mentality. You should be able to win the game. You're definitely favored.
I mean, when you look at it on paper, I think Pitt's got better. I mean, I think they got. Yeah, I think Corrin and Minor are. They're that's basic. Yeah, they're legit. And I'm sorry, but Huff and Brennan Lorient and Jasper Floyd, they're not as good as Corrin and Minor, in my opinion. And and Zach Austin, like I said, he's a defensive force. So I don't know. I think Pitt on paper is better, But like,
plus you got Papa Amadou Conte. When you have a name like that, you got to win.
I know that's another guy. I failed to mention him as well. But Corn the other night had a nice game. Was listening to that game because the ACC did not have it on their I could so. But I mean, I was listening to it, and Bill Hillgrove was going over stats, and he was saying about coming out of halftime, Eastern Michigan had like 11 turnovers in the first half, and for like coming out of halftime, I think it was 6 minutes. Pitt went without a single turnover, 6 or 7 minutes in the second half. I mean, they were, and they only had a couple in the first half, so it was kind of a lopsided game in the turnover department.
And I don't know if you study their roster much, but they've got the probably the best players from the Dakar City League in Senegal, right? Because they got Papa Amadou Conte and they also have Daye. So clearly they've taken the best out of that Dakar has to offer in Senegal. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. Howland and Dixon have New York, and Cable's got Senegal. So
he's got Dakar, baby. He's got Dakar on lockdown.
What can you say?
He's got Dakar on lockdown.
So I mean,
take players from that city, go for it, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're both giants. They're both 6'10".
I know. Yeah, that helps. So, all right, let's switch to Penguins here.
The Penguins.
So the Penguins, playing in Sweden. They're already over there. Got a couple games over there. NHL Global Series. It's Friday, I think at 2. I think is a puck drop, and then there's another early morning game on Sunday.
9 a.m.
Yeah, Friday and Sunday. So, I mean, hey, what can you say about the Penguins? I mean, they've been on a pretty strong start, I think. Surprising, guys, right? I mean, I think I wasn't expecting this kind of start from the Penguins. I know it's early yet. You're only in mid-November, but yeah. I want to ask you guys, what have you seen thus far from the Penguins that has kind of surprised you?
Obviously, it's the infusion of youth with the old, which seems to be the ingredients to turning your team around after long stretches with established stars. And,
not only the lines, Eddie. I think that them rolling the lines on time is helping with what you're saying there.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. I mean, it's a little disturbing because they're older and they're kind of fading now. Lost 2 in a row. So, they get up to a 4 or 5 game losing streak. There's going to be some heads rolling somewhere. But their problem is they're old. They're older. They need to get more youth out there. I mean, the 18-year-old kid, I remembered the draft. I didn't necessarily remember the player, but he's doing well. I mean, there was a terrible question. How do you get him more involved? Hello, talking about Captain Obvious. You put him in the game more. So I think those seems to be the ingredients for turning a franchise around. Him having the courage, not courage, but the common sense to do it, where Sully didn't do it for whatever reason, is just telling. He was definitely at the end of his tenure. Kind of reminds me of another team that plays an A Crusher at the end of their tenure. So I think the guy is a breath of fresh air.
Agreed, and I like me. We've talked about it before. I like what Dan Muse has done with these lines. I really like what he's done. I like the pairings with Malkin. Hey, I think you can even say Erik Karlsson has played a little bit better than what we've expected. I mean,
I think overall there's more buy-in for the system that's been brought this year or implemented this year than versus last year. I think you're 100% right.
Right.
I mean, what have you in net? I mean, obviously Tristan Jarry's on injury reserve. What have you seen?
You love him, but my goodness, I'm glad he's out.
It's a blessing, Billy.
It is.
I mean, they can't. It's also you have just an awful GM. He just needs to realize that Jarry was just a horrible idea and just cut bait now and just move forward. You need to develop the younger goalie anyway. Just stop. Get rid of him. Drop him.
I mean, I think Shilovs has been good. Murashov, I mean, not too bad. I mean, what did you think about his last start? about the Kings. I mean, hey, they lost that game, but I don't. A lot of those goals wasn't necessarily his fault.
No, they were defensive lapses. Come on. I mean, I think
I
the
think he'll
guys
be fine until he's promising.
you go with the Latvian, you go with the Russian. You tell the Canadian to go back to farming, You know, just get rid of him. He's go to farming, You have to get rid of him. Period. If you don't, again, it's another joke for
Well, I think now's the time to cut ties with him. Absolutely. I think if there was ever a time,
push him down to Wilkes-Barre. That'll be your rehab permanent assignment.
Yeah, my biggest concern with this team, I love the start. I do. I love the start. It's great. My biggest concern is sustainability. That's my biggest concern. You have a hot start, but you have an aging roster. Okay. And, you gotta, rely on some, unsustainability, high percentages. There's a lot of raising concern with me about maintaining that pace. That's all there is.
I still think in the third and fourth lines, they're looking for a difference where those guys can come in and grind out a puck or wind down the time type thing. And they also still need that net front presence guy.
Yeah.
Well, your idea, right, is to close out those periods with the gritty, gruff guys and, send a message as you go into the locker room.
Come out with the bows high, right? Keep the puck rolling in their zone for a minute. They don't even have to score.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Brazeau. I think has been that net front presence. That's another guy that's really surprised me. Him and Kindle really surprised me. I like the Mantha Malkin. I like the Mantha Malkin Brazeau line. I think the Hollander Crosby Rust line has been good. Novak Kindle Koivunen, I think, has been good. I mean, those, Brazeau, I think he saved some of your net front present issues that you had, or lack thereof, is really what it is. Ricard Raquel, hoping that he can get back. I know he late October had that broken hand. I think they said he could return in by the end of November, I think. So but now Hollander's out with that. He has that blood clot in his leg. I don't know whether you saw that.
Should be out.
That's like 6 to 8 weeks or something, huh?
Yeah. So, all right, let's switch it over. Let's close out with the Riverhounds. Ed and I, as many of you know, are beat writers for the Riverhounds. We write for Stream Punk Sports. The Riverhounds have advanced to the USL Eastern Conference Final for the first time in club history. Hosting Rhode Island Saturday night, November 15th. Last week, Ed and I were there. We're actually on the field taking photos when they did the penalty kicks against Detroit City FC. You had Beto, who scored the winning penalty and had an amazing game defensively. He was a threat on set pieces. I'm hoping that they can score some goals, because they're going to need it, because Rhode Island can score. And this is I don't want to see another game. I don't want to see another match go to penalty kicks. For the love of God, please end it in 90 minutes.
Yeah, especially from a health standpoint. You get back-to-back, and they didn't play 120 minutes. They probably paid with stoppage time. I think it was 134 the first one, 136 the second one. Then you have to go into the most – there's no other way to explain it, that it's very much like hockey with the shootout in hockey. Only, the goaltender really is at the disadvantage because the player's so close. It'd be like having a person ending a game on free throws with your biggest, tallest player standing underneath, or underneath the backboard, and they blow the whistle and he has an opportunity to come and goaltend, right? I mean, how fast can you get the ball out before that person comes on? So they did very well. Their goalkeeper stepped up twice in consecutive weeks, but I don't think you can live on that. It's just like the Steelers living on their turnovers. They obviously can't. And I don't think a team can play defense that long. So I hope they win, though.
Yeah. What's your take on this? I mean, I
This one comes down more so than any other one we've been to. This one comes down to that first goal. Period.
Agreed. We've talked about this. I mean, hey, this is not, we can talk about this. I mean, we don't know all the details, but, Bob Lilly placed on administrative leave, formulate your own hypotheses of what happened. We kind of somewhat know, I would say. But, Rob Vincent it's just been a different team with him. It just has been a different team. They seem like a more aggressive team, not that team that kind of sits back and, tries to squeeze the life out of you. They've been more of an attacking team, I think. And I like it.
They play loose. They play free. They play with, happiness as well, which they didn't have under Lilly. Right. So, but I mean, he's a great all-time coach. But the fact of the matter is, he's an old guy that didn't get along with the new school people, basically.
Right, exactly. Amazing tactic guy.
Tactician, very good.
Yeah, just very great tacticianer. You get that from coaching 28 years and playing the game yourself. But like I said, this is going to be a tough game for them because, like I said, Rhode Island can score. Make no mistake about it. This team can put the ball in the back of the net. I think you got to score first and often if you're the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I think you just need to come out guns a-blazing and try to press as much as you can. And I don't know, Ed. I think you do whatever you got to do. Even if it risks maybe giving up some open lanes, I think you do whatever you do. I think you press the hell out of them and you try to get that ball in the back of the net in the first 20 minutes, I think, to kind of just set the tone. I think you're going to need that against a team like this.
Got to get the first goal. Do everything in your power, everything you're able to do. Get that first goal, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, except don't go into that defensive posture you guys say they typically were going into and allow up the next 2 goals, 3.
You're right. That is brilliant. Brilliant. Because that's often what they do.
But I think that tires guys out when you do that. That's a very tiring brand of soccer when you do that. I mean, like so you get, if you're able to score first and often, I don't know, then you can somewhat sit back. But they've been on a strong defensive run. Make no mistake about it. I mean, they've had a pretty.
If they get that first goal, the relief that it'll have in the whole team will be immeasurable.
Yeah, I mean, I like we interviewing the players last week. What did we hear a lot of? The atmosphere. We're happy that we're hosting it at home. The atmosphere is amazing at Highmark.
Yep.
And it's I don't know. It definitely gives an advantage. But I'm a little concerned about this game. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't that worried about Detroit. Really wasn't that worried about Hartford either.
No.
But this opponent, Rhode Island, I'm a little bit concerned about. Got to be honest.
I just have to factor in. It's very hard to beat a team 4 times in 1 year.
That's also true.
I mean, essentially what it is, you have a 1-0 victory, a 1-0 victory, and a 2-0 victory. So it's very difficult to beat that team again. You know each other so well. You play each other all the time. I hope that my hope is the first goal. If that first goal is successful, it's going to be a totally different team.
Well, yeah, and I think you've got to score. Like you got to score that early too, right? Am I?
Most definitely.
I think you get in the first 20 minutes. I think if you can go up 1-0, I think you've got to. But then you've got to really, you got to look for the next one, and you've got to also play. You got to play good defense too. I mean, you can't score go up 1-0, and then take your foot off the gas, because that's just not, that's going to draw you into penalty kicks again.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, we've already seen that doesn't work. That philosophy is flawed.
Yeah,
flawed.
Boy, from the mouth of babes, huh?
He knows what he's talking about. Keep it up, man.
And from off of babes. What the hell's a from off of babe?
From the mouth of babes, I said.
Oh, I thought you said it from off of babe.
That's even better, though. I like that.
That's even better. I like that. He come up with something.
From
That's pretty good. I like it. So
What am I hearing? You know, am I hearing once in a while someone say something like, "There's no way that's what they said."
all right. Well, we
All right.
okay. So we're gonna be we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But all right, everybody. We will be tomorrow night. We'll be doing Gridiron Weekly, 8 p.m. Talking college, talking NFL. We'll be getting into that.
Basketball. No, no,
Yeah.
we're not.
No, yeah. So, but and then obviously we got Steel City Sunday. We got the pre and post game show this Sunday against.
What do we have Saturday, sir?
Oh well,
Live.
that's on another network though.
Oh, sugar, honey, ice, and tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Ed, you do that all the time for the love of God.
So popular.
So, yeah. But and a couple other shows we got coming up. Obviously, we got the final word with Maddie B. That's Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Maddie B.
Let's see what else we got. We got Philly AM Sports Sundays at 9 a.m.
Oh, Mike.
Geez, what else we got? They took off some of the okay. Well, Mike Laro's got his props, locks, and parlays. That's Tuesday. And then they got the Eagles Birds Blast Thursday at 7 p.m. So
it's my cousin Kyle Quinn.
Yeah. So, but yeah. And then, like I said, we'll have Steel City coming up. Pre and post game show from the North Park Lounge. We'll be doing that. So
best headshots I've ever seen in a promo.
Isn't that great? Look at that, huh? Amazing. Look at that. What's that? What do they call it? And it's not a trio. It's obviously trio. Quartet. Thank you.
A quartet of.
It's not a barbershop.
I call it a lineup, but you call it a quartet.
It's not a barbershop. It's not a barbershop quartet, but it's a quartet.
No.
So, but all right, everybody. That's it. That's all we got for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week.
Hands later.